Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I can't hear Paul. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, that was me. Good evening, Drew. How are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if there's ever any computer problems on this show,
No, no,
I think we know where we point the finger first.
no. It's definitely me. I forgot to give my mic phantom power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Phantom power.
phantom. I think that's what it's called. Something like that.
Powered by real phantoms.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Dude, I am okay. I am pretty okay.
Pretty okay.
Yeah. Boy, you and Eric had yourself a little episode, huh?
We went all over the place, man. It was fun. It was fun.
Okay. So here's what happened. I had to be somewhere very, very last minute for stuff. And what it turned out to be was I was supposed to do a shooting competition that weekend.
Okay.
And my buddy and I planned a very, very hastily planned last minute trip to dial a few things in that night. We had planned to be back in time for recording and all this other stuff. Because, I mean, we had to do this during daylight. But things kind of went sideways on us during the week. And I knew that I wasn't going to be back in time. So I had to sub Eric in at the very, very last minute. And then, of course, last week was the 4th of July holiday that fell on our normal recording day, and I was indisposed all weekend.
It's okay. I was pretty busy too. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so it didn't dawn on me that I didn't set up our recurring calendar meeting for the 4th, but it wasn't going to work for me at least. I was busy like all weekend. So anyway, you guys had yourself a little episode.
Okay, and I assumed you listened, so...
Oh, of course.
Comments, criticisms, concerns, revenge.
No, it's fine. I mean, I know, I'm a meme. I get it. Like, you guys can make fun of me.
You're a shooty guy.
I'm a shooty guy now. I was going to add another topic tonight's episode because I just can't help myself. But we'll have to save that for next episode because I'm not ready to talk about that yet. Okay. That's foreshadowing. Listen next week if you want to hear all about bad decisions that I'm making. But it's great. I mean, I always love getting caught up with Eric and all the things that he has going on. Eric is secretly like one of the most interesting people I know. Actually, maybe not even secretly one of the most interesting people I know.
Yeah,
he's in London right now. He's one of those people that summers places.
Oh.
Yeah, like he doesn't take vacation, like he summers places. Like he'll just take off and go to England or France or whatever.
That sweet SQL Server money.
I mean, for as much as he complains about it, you wouldn't know it. But he does very well. He does very, very well. He's very, very good at what he does. And he should enjoy himself. But, you guys did get into a couple topics that I do want to follow up on. So Eric had a lot to say about the TK-02.
He did. Yes. Most, I mean, not all negative. He did say it did make good coffee. He just had some complaints. Yeah.
So I've had mine not as long as he has. And if you listen to that show or you listened to the show before, Paul and I like white appliances.
We're idiots.
Yeah, which we are idiots. And I'm going to talk about sort of I want to feel like it's coming up on about 6 months worth of ownership on the TK-02. So first and foremost, I got white, which was an absolute mistake because coffee is brown.
It is.
Anytime you see brown on anything, like it's never in a good connotation.
Yeah, there's always a fight keeping my espresso machine clean. It looks real nice when it's clean.
Oh, I mean, I have white cabinets and black countertops, and it looks fantastic in my kitchen. I have like the millennial gray kitchen, but it looks superb in there. It is a very, very nice looking machine. It is really, really hard to keep clean.
Yes.
I have to take like a wet paper towel and wipe it down, every couple days just from splashes, even though I have like the nozzle all the way down to where it goes into the cup. It's just impossible to keep it looking nice. Now, functionally, I would say that I really like my TK-02. I love that I can open an app when I'm laying in my bed, warm the machine up, and tell it to start brewing before I finally like peel myself out of bed and walk to the kitchen. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. I love that you know, if you are the kind of person that wants to get fiddly with like the amount of water and the amount of grams of coffee that it grinds up and all that other stuff, God bless you. I'm just here for the Americanos.
Okay.
I put beans in. I push the Americano menu item. That's the extent of my interaction with this thing.
Okay.
I have read about what it takes to like dial it in and do all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Espresso is a hobby if you get into it.
Espresso is a hobby.
It can be a pain in the ass. Yeah.
I don't know if I have the palate. I don't think it's a skill issue. I just think that I don't know if I can taste the difference.
Okay.
If I were to do that. Because, for instance, I would be willing to bet that if I had a control group of beans, like just like a bucket of espresso beans.
Okay.
And I took that bucket of espresso beans to my local coffee shop that makes espresso, or like some like just third party, not known to me quantity at all coffee shop that could make me an espresso, and put the same beans in my TK-02 and make an espresso, dump them all into unlabeled cups. Someone, I close my eyes and someone shuffles the cups up. I don't know if I could tell you which one came from where.
Okay. Yeah.
I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't. Are you at the point now where if you fuck up, like,
Oh, 100%.
Fuck up? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially, like, it's hard when you, like, if you're adding stuff to the espresso, even water, it changes the taste. But, like, if you just taste, like, a shot coming out, right, like, you can get a really, really sour shot, which is, like, under extraction, which is usually if you're going to have a problem with espresso, it's probably under extraction.
What does that mean?
So under extraction means you're not getting enough of the soluble parts of the coffee into the water. So either means that it could be because of poor puck prep. So that ends up with channeling, which means the water is causing channels to go through the puck. So it's the path of least resistance. So the water's not getting to the whole puck for the whole time. It could be that you're not brewing hot enough because heat helps with that extraction process. It could just be that your shot wasn't long enough, right? You didn't put enough water through the espresso. So that's usually, and you end up with a sour shot because you get a lot of the acidity of the beans first. And that means you're basically getting just the acidic sour part of the beans before you get the rest of the flavors. So yeah.
So because this is not an acoustic espresso maker and it's all digital, and I have access to an app where I could quickly reprogram my quote unquote espresso profile. My question then is, much like you educated me that coffees have a shelf life and that there's usually a date on there that tells you when it was roasted, is there a formula for is there somewhere on the coffee bag that would tell me the ideal temperature?
Usually not. No. No.
It's just kind of trial and error.
Yeah. Like, especially when you get new beans, it can take a while to dial in things. Now, granted, like, I don't have like a super, like, I have a very nice espresso machine, but it's not like a commercial espresso machine. So for me, the only real thing that I can like change is the grind size, and it might take a few times to get the exact grind size right to get the length of shot that I need out of it, and get enough juice in the cup, so to speak. So yeah.
So here are the 4 variables that I have control over. I'm looking at the app right now.
Okay.
I have dosage, and then in parentheses it says G, which I assume is grams. Water in ounces, brew temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, and grind size. And grind size doesn't have a unit; it just says 2.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
That's Well, I assume that it doesn't go below 0, so that you're probably
So
grinding.
it goes from 1, which is finest, to 5, which is coarsest.
Oh, okay. So is there like steps? Is there steps in between? Is there just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, a whole integer. Whole integers are no floating point.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you don't have a lot of options. So you're probably getting a medium coarse grind. If you're not happy with your espresso, I would try maybe grinding all the way fine. See what that gets you.
All the way fine.
All the way fine.
Now, you said that under extraction happens because you're either not brewing hot enough or
long enough, or puck prep. Because you don't have access to the puck prep because it's all automatic. But
right.
Yeah,
now, my brew temperature goes from 190 to 205. It's currently on the hottest setting. I'm assuming that like hottest is always best,
I would do
right?
too. I think mine's like at 209 degrees right now, but like 205 would be good. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to this. We'll get to this later, but we'll have to come back to this because like I have been using this long enough now that I have tried a few different bean types in the machine. Like when you set me up with trade, and then I did go back to the coffee shop and buy some Buna Fruta.
I'm excited to hear what that was like as espresso.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but getting back to the machine. So the machine does exactly what I want it to do. But I will say this. The water reservoir in it is not very voluminous. So every time you start the machine up, it has to do like its little prep cycle, which makes steam and uses water. Every time you brew something, it obviously is going to use water. And then every time you put the machine to sleep, it also goes through a mini little rinse steam cycle that also uses water. So I feel like 3 times a week I'm putting water in this thing.
Okay.
And this is me brewing 2 Americanos or like 1 shot of espresso in an Americano like a day.
Okay.
So, for me and the way that my kitchen is laid out, I basically have to walk all the way across my kitchen to fill the water up from the sink. And before I get nasty messages like, "Oh my goodness, your kitchen's so big and you have a nice espresso machine, you got to fill up with water." Like I'm mentioning this because I'm going to get to the part that I absolutely hate about this machine, and that is the drip tray.
Okay.
The drip tray is impossible to clean well.
Okay.
So the whole bottom of the machine is the drip tray. And I don't let the machine empty into the drip tray. Meaning anytime I turn the machine on or turn the machine off or brew coffee, there is always some sort of receptacle in the place where the hot bean juice comes out. Okay. And it actually advises you to do that in the instructions. And I wasn't sure why when I first read it. But every time you brew, any excess water in the system just comes into the drip tray from different places. So like the machine is prepping, it's brewing, it's doing whatever. It's ejecting that water into the drip tray that's excess.
Yeah. So it's probably heating up so much water, and it's probably trying to measure how much is going through it. And of course, the whole thing's under pressure, right? So to have pressure, you have to keep pushing water through. So there's always a point where it stops and there's water that it needs to do something with.
Yep. And you're probably right. So what happens is that slowly the drip tray starts to fill up. And unless you stay on top of it, when you go to empty that drip tray, you're basically carrying a tray of water that you need to keep level, or you're going to have a big whoopsie all over your floor.
Yep. Okay.
Now, in addition to the water that ends up in the drip tray, grinds also end up in the drip tray. They're like it even has a warning printed on the drip tray that's like, hey, some grinds might show up here, but if excessive grinds show up here, contact support. Now, excessive is not a quantitative term. It is a qualitative term.
What is excessive? Great. Yeah.
What I consider excessive in things like firearms, pornography, and video games, other people might not consider excessive.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know what that means. So, like, when you take the drip tray out and you very carefully, again, like I said, carry this across my kitchen, you now have a drip tray full of brown water that also has coffee grounds in it. Now, you should not be in the habit of dumping coffee grounds down your drain.
You should not.
Of any quantity. So the trick now is, how do you get this grind infested water? Because that's what it is, right? Like you can see
Yeah.
grinds floating in the tray. There's also like dried up grinds on like the surface plastic sometimes. So now you need a way to empty this without emptying it. And here's my workflow, okay? Before I go, so when I prep to empty the drip tray, I go to the other side of my kitchen and I get a very large Ziploc bag. I take that Ziploc bag and I put some water in it. This provides an anchor for the Ziploc bag. And then I get in there, goatsy style, and I open this thing up as far as it'll go. And then I bring the drip tray over and I start to dump it into the plastic bag, which captures most of the grounds. Okay?
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So now I got a big brown bag of water.
Yeah.
And
you do. Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And that's if it goes well. If it doesn't go well and I miss, or the bag tips as I'm filling it, now I got grinds in the sink. And my dead man switch is I always cover the drain in case that happens. Now best case, everything goes well and I put all the brown water in the bag. I Ziploc the baggie up and that goes in the trash. But if it doesn't, now I have to like get something to start sopping up bean water in the sink and trying to keep as many grounds as I can out of the sink. Now,
okay, so I have just a suggestion out there, something to maybe think about.
Okay.
I've always heard that coffee grounds are good for house plants or plants in general. Have you tried just using this? Like, do you have a house plant that you can experiment with and dump this water into the house plant?
We did.
Okay.
But then one day it wasn't okay. And
okay.
Yeah, we have like a fake plant where that plant now was, because it did really liven up the room. I mean, I could take it outside and dump it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You could.
Okay, but like this is just stage one though. Like we're not even to like the bad part.
Okay. And was the bad part cleaning it?
Yeah. So like the drip tray itself is not machine washable. And it says so. Like the parts are not dishwasher safe. And because it is plastic, it has to support, like, it's basically three pieces. So like the whole shell of the drip tray is white. And then there is another plastic piece that sort of sits on top of that. And it is supported by like little pieces of plastic that are like molded into the other tray. And then there's the metal, like actual like corrugated tray, or not corrugated, but like the metal tray that you set your glasses and stuff on at the front of the tray sits at the front of that. And coffee grounds get in those little nooks and crannies. And now I have to repeat the process. So if I still have my brown bag of water, I will get like a paper towel with some light detergent on it, and I will start to like scrub out the inside of this thing, taking like my fingernails or my fingers and trying to get into like the little 90 degrees where the grinds accumulate. And you have to like really get in there. Like maybe sometimes I'll use like a little brush to kind of get them out of there. And then again, dumping the residue, which now has more grinds in it, into the brown bag. And then again, when I'm all done, I let these things kind of air dry on the counter, and then it all goes back together. It is a precarious process because sometimes it's like kind of hard to tell just how full it is. Like the machine will say, hey, just a heads up, you might want to clean your drip tray, when it's about halfway full. But the problem is you'll usually get that reminder after you've brewed coffee, and like you want to drink your coffee. You don't want to clean your drip tray and let your coffee get cold, because this is not a quick process. So like, you know, I'll let it go a little bit longer than I probably should, which is totally a me problem. But then I'll have to like get back on it and do my little coffee cleaning ritual, if you will.
Yeah.
That to me is like the biggest problem I have with the system. Now, the place where the spent pucks go, you kind of need to stay on that a little bit too. But usually all you have to do is take that little container out. It's like it's hidden behind one of the doors. Like you open the door, you pull out this little tray, and then you just dump the little pucks into the garbage. Now, if you don't stay on top of that, they can get moldy. So
Yeah.
again, you'll hit that with some detergent and you're fine. But like those, like the drip tray for me is like the hardest sort of thing to keep clean. And that's like the number one criticism I have. And like I legitimately don't know if I should contact support about my grind issue.
I don't know.
I've read some Reddit threads and I've read some stuff online where it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it makes really good coffee. And I'm like, well, they're not wrong. But I would, if the drip tray was just a little bit bigger, or maybe it didn't fill up with as much water as it does, it wouldn't be a big deal. But like where, and I really do think it's compounded by the fact that you have to be so careful carrying this tray full of water anywhere that you don't spill it. And it's hard because it with water in it, it's not light. And trying to keep it level as you walk across the kitchen is, with a blind dog who may or may not be underfoot, is just not, it's just not easy.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would say that's probably my number one complaint with it. But it does make good coffee. I don't know. Like I'm at the point now where, and now this kind of like segues into the Buona Frutta conversation, is like, the coffees that you recommended me, I was able to taste a difference without adjusting any profile. I have not found a good way to enjoy this Buona Frutta coffee.
I'm not sure that's gonna make the best espresso. It's a pretty light.
Now,
Yeah,
this is the second bag of coffee I bought from this place. I actually bought espresso blend from them, and it was really good. So maybe you're right. Maybe I just can't grind up any old bean and expect it to be good.
Yeah, like I wouldn't like. To me, this would be a great, like, this is exactly the kind of like flavors I'm looking for when I make filter coffee. But
well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the options on my machine is just regular old drip coffee.
Okay, you should,
and it makes a very good cup of that.
You should do that. Yes, I would do that. Yeah. Yes. Have you done that? I
have, and it tastes way different.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. I thought that anything would be espresso if you wanted it hard enough.
I mean, you can, like, yes, you can take any bean and make it espresso, but I wouldn't say that like acidity is what you're looking for in a cup of espresso, right? Like you probably want something a little bit like even like I use that Mind Tonic from what is it? Certain time. Yeah, this is a hot link coming in.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
That's usually what I use.
The Mind Tonic.
Yeah,
no, yes. I had this. This was in my.
Yeah, it's a little darker. It's a medium roast. That's what I like. Now, a lot of people, they've like, Starbucks has taught them that dark roast is what they want, and that's the flavors they're expecting. They're expecting a lot of roasty, nutty flavors, and this has a little bit of that, but there's just a little bit of tartness in there that I enjoy, and that my wife will never taste when she puts cream and sugar into her coffee. So yeah.
Well, what is it? A cup of hot milk and sugar?
I mean, dude, I like a latte too. So don't get me wrong. Like putting a couple pumps of like vanilla syrup in there and some hot steamed milk, it's good. I'll drink that up. Yum. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with my coffee game now. I think tomorrow, before I get out of bed, I might tinker with like an espresso profile to see. Maybe I'll try go finer on the grinds.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think? More or less water?
I don't know. It's hard to tell without knowing what your machine does, but yeah.
Well, okay. So, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm looking at the water ounce settings, and it goes all the way from 0.6 to 5, and I'm at a 1.6 ounce right now.
Yeah. So it probably grinds the right amount of beans based off what you put in there. So you probably
the dosage right now is 10 grams for 1.6 ounces of water.
Okay, so the ratio that I go by for my filter coffee drinking is 60 grams of coffee per liter. Then you can
no, not the metric system.
Well, that's what everything is. 60 grams of coffee per liter. It's all, I'm all metric, baby. And I didn't think of that. That comes from my beautiful British coffee boy.
60 grams of coffee per liter.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
ounces to liters. Hold on. Come on. Okay, so 1.6 ounces is 0.0. Okay, we got to go the other way. So 1 liter is 33 ounces. So 60 grams, 60 is to 1. Okay. Oh no. I gotta I'm fucking doing calculus to figure out.
All right. Well, you can figure that out on your own.
No, I can't.
Oh,
all right.
So
all right, I'll play with it. I'll play with it. All right. You have snooty browser stuff to talk about.
So I know this is bad. This is bad podcasting, but I have a link in here, and I assume you have not watched this.
Of course not.
My wonderful hipster browser company, the browser company, they spent some of that hard-earned VC money on a commercial that they aired on CBS. It is a minute-long commercial. I think they only aired it once because commercials are expensive. But I say that I've watched this, but you have to watch this, and I think we have to do this like on the air. So you just let me know when you're ready, and we can.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, hit it.
Okay, playing as first seen on CBS. San Francisco, of course. That's where computers are. What the fuck? Okay, so we don't want to hang out with tech bros, so now we use Arc browser. Okay, evening bike ride with friends. You had to search that, huh?
And it shows the browse for me option in Arc search. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've been to San Francisco. So that's pretty accurate. People do ride bikes there.
Yeah, and you got some QR codes there just so you can, get at that real quick.
People love a QR code.
There you go. Yeah, that's a thing they made.
Okay, well, I'm going to read some of the comments. Good vibe and visuals, but not the most clear point of what's happening.
That's a good one. There's also
this barely makes any sense for me as an Arc user, TBH.
Yeah. And there's also a video from the president or whatever about the commercial and what they're trying to get across, and about it. It's
if you have to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the vibe you're going for is Arc shows you an article of things you can do.
Yeah, it's all about they're showing the browse for me, right, which is using their AI, right? Instead of doing a Google search, you say, things to do in the evening in San Francisco, you say browse for me, and it scrapes the internet and makes you a summary page of stuff, which I do use. I mean, I do use that feature. I like that feature. It is good. But that commercial is a little rough. So yeah.
It's a lot of hope and dreams in the comment. All I want is an Android app.
Yeah. I don't have much. I just wanted to share the ongoing saga of my hipster browser company.
Well, here's a comment that I just want to call out, because if this is true, this is wild. This comment was posted 9 days ago on the video you just linked me.
Okay.
It has been a month since Arc has been able to play a damn video. It just doesn't play videos anymore. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
It's obviously this person's bad. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, no, I only use
imagine
Arc.
making a video that you can't watch in the browser you're advertising.
Yeah, I only use Arc. I use Arc as my default browser on my Mac and my iPad, and they have an iPad version of Arc Search now. And my phone. I do everything on that browser, so it absolutely plays. I watched this YouTube video in the Arc browser on my Mac. So yeah. That dude is clearly fucked.
I mean, are they? Can you give them money? You can give them money now.
No, you can't.
You still can't give them money?
No. No, there's no way for me to give them money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's the sound of money being set on fire. Okay.
Yeah, and I just
comment 3 days ago, full body chills. You might have the flu. I don't think it's from this.
I just that clearly had to take a lot of money to get those actors. I mean, it's a well shot commercial. It looks professional. I'm sure they had to like find actors and write a script and like that shit.
Yeah, they brought in an agency.
Yeah.
Brought in an agency to do this.
Yeah. And then they paid to have that on broadcast television.
It only aired one time, huh?
I don't know. I've never seen it. It's a minute long commercial. I can't imagine they bought a lot of those, but yeah. I don't know.
17,000 views over 9 days.
Yeah. I mean, the Arc browser does have a very loyal set of followers.
Yep. 87,000 subscribers to this YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah.
CEO Josh Miller breaks down the ideas hidden within the commercial.
Yeah.
That's not what you shouldn't hide things in commercials. That's not.
Yeah. It's
Josh. Maybe Josh is the problem. Maybe we need someone else that knows. Like, number one, you should charge money for things, and two, you shouldn't hide things in commercials.
Dude, I'm just like, Josh. If you're listening, I know you're not. Just fucking sell me a T-shirt or something. Anything. A pint glass. Something.
Wow,
He's
got a 4 minute and 30-second video shot from what looks like the Alps.
They travel a lot. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. There's like, they do like update videos. Like, yeah, we flew the whole team out to New York City and we had an in-person meeting. Like, okay. Like, I mean, I guess money's not a problem right now. I don't know what the end game of this whole Arc experiment is. I'm afraid they're going to try to sell the browser to somebody who's going to ruin it. Oh yeah,
Google's going to buy it, and then you're going to be fucked.
I'm going to be fucked.
You made this part of your personality.
I have.
Okay, so the other thing I want to follow up with here is the other week when we were talking about potential Google replacements, you recommended me Perplexity.
Yeah, oops.
Perplexity did an oops. Apparently, people are big mad that I don't know how long it took them to realize this, but all these LLMs and all the things that people are training is just doing it on whatever's on the web. So people are starting to get big mad about that. So the entire search engine that's an LLM is kind of not okay. They didn't do something that people are mad that they're scraping copyrighted content.
Yeah, and it's not only that, but like from how I understand it is, it would have been one thing if they used like a user agent string that clearly said, "Hey, I'm the Perplexity bot. I'm scraping your shit." But they didn't. They used just, I guess, like the regular Chrome agent string, whether they were actually using Chrome or not. I saw that like AWS is looking into them to see whether they violated terms of service. Like, yeah.
Do you think that that's malice, or people don't know how a user agent string works? Because I'm 50-50.
Okay, so I'm so I'm a hypocrite here because I'm on a podcast talking about AI, but I'm so tired of podcasts talking about AI, and I've heard a lot of them. I think what they are saying is not all the data they use they acquired themselves. They bought it from somebody else. And that company that may have done things in a way that they're not happy with, but at the end of the day, like, if you're going to be using that data, you should know where it comes from.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a good steward of it, right?
Yes.
I feel like that is probably true. I mean, if I go out, and buy a bunch of people's email addresses and send them like just fuck you, like okay.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think at some point, like, all these models, I know Perplexity is a little different because it's one part search engine, one part LLM, whatever. But like all these large language models have trained so much on the open web data. And at some point, there's probably in a number of years, that's embarrassing for this country. There'll be some court case about whether that's legal or not. And that shit will get all hashed out. But
I mean, you would hope so.
You would hope so. Yeah.
I mean, Big yikes. Okay.
Yes.
Let's get to this next topic because I'm really happy about you putting this on here.
Okay. Yep. So I've been off this week. My family's in Myrtle Beach. So I did a little staycation. So I've been watching lots of TV, lots of binging. And I finished the Newsroom earlier this week.
So you finished season 3.
I finished season 3. I watched all 3 seasons. Now, where are you at, Drew?
I don't have access to season 3 currently.
Okay. So you watched 1 and 2.
I finished season 2, which I really liked.
Yeah. Yes.
Really, really liked season 2.
I had talked to people who had watched it who said season 3 was weird. It is not as good, but it is still damn good television. Okay. So I would maybe find a way to watch season 3 and watch it. It does like, obviously they knew the show was ending. They do put a nice bow on it. The storyline is good. But I think the Newsroom is a good show. It's a good show. It's a good show.
Very good show.
Yeah.
So I guess rank your top 3 characters for me in the Newsroom.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go to find their names because I am really bad at this. Because mostly I have characters from another show in my brain now.
Okay, yeah, I know. I can't wait.
Okay, hold on. Going to the Newsroom. Okay, so top 3 characters for me. Sloane Sabbath. I just that whole character. She is just so good.
I know.
Like, I don't know whether she's like trying to play someone who's like slightly on the autism spectrum, but that's definitely the vibe I got. Like, not always
she's
the best.
She's just like very. She's very like. She's obviously playing a very, very smart individual who just isn't aware of like how the world really works around her.
Yes.
Played by Olivia Munn, by the way.
Yeah, done very well.
Yep.
I think probably. I mean, you got to go with Will, right? The titular, like the main character.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good.
He's so good.
So fucking good.
And I'd probably give like number 3 to like Charlie Skinner, the president of the news organization. Yeah. What Sam Waterson's the actor. He just plays that character so well. He just throws himself into every scene.
Yeah. So when I first started watching it, right, I'm only through 2 seasons.
Okay.
Obviously I like Will, right? The character played by Jeff Daniels. I like him very much. I like the way he approaches things. And it's interesting because like when he starts talking about his personal politics, I identify with a lot, but not all of what he says. And that's what initially drew me into the show when I was watching clips of it, is how he addresses some of that stuff. I really like him.
I mean, it's permanent. It's pertinent for today too, because like
it is.
They attack like the Tea Party and the beginning of when the Republican Party started going off the rails, and he plays a very like old school conservative Republican, like pre-Tea Party Republican. Yeah.
Yep. I also like Charlie.
Yeah.
Just any kind of scene he's in, whether he's just being like when he's like yelling at Olivia Munn and calling her girl, and just like it's just like you could tell that he's like an old school guy, and he has a really really like loving relationship with Will, and it's just a joy watching him act in pretty much anything. Now, my third favorite person, and I hated him at first, is Dawn.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I did not like Dawn at all in season 1, but as all the drama in season 2 unfolds, I kind of had this new respect for him. I mean, I like Mac and I like Jim, and obviously Maggie is just like a train wreck with everything that happens to her in season 2. Like at first I just thought she was like this aloof person, that was kind of fun and added a little bit of comedic relief to the show in season 1. But season 2, she's like pretty heavily featured in a pretty intense storyline. But Dawn really grew on me. And then he starts to develop the relationship with, Sloane and, everything that happens in season 2. I don't know how season 3 ends up. So don't spoil it.
It is a little like happily ever after. They do lean into that a little bit, I think, but it's a very interesting storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are kind of my three favorites. So okay, so you wrap that up. So now let's get to the part that I'm really super excited about. What else did you watch?
So I told you that after I finished the Newsroom that I would start watching The Wire.
Okay.
As of today, I have finished season 1 of The Wire.
Okay. So don't bury the lead here. Are you gonna watch season 2?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
yes,
Good.
yes.
Okay. Good. I held my breath.
It is. I am enjoying it. It is. I would also say it is a good television show. At least the first season. I have lots of seasons to go.
How many episodes did it take for you to really get into it?
3 or 4, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So give me a rundown.
There's a lot of characters.
Yes.
A lot. And they spend a lot of time just kind of setting everything up until
and by the way, I'm going to warn you. 80% of the characters that you've met in season 1 are going to be in season 2.
Okay.
And they're going to introduce a whole new clique of characters. Season 3, it's not quite as bad. They introduced some very important people in season 3, but not nearly as many. Season 4 is a whole new group of people. Season 5 is a whole new group of people, right? So there's going to be, what you're going to see is there's going to be a core group of people like McNulty and Bunk and Griggs and other people and like Lieutenant Daniels that are going to be in every season. Okay. But there's going to be different people that come in and out of orbit every season. You're going to have to learn their names. It is an extremely large cast. Extremely large cast. All right, so give me your thoughts. Walk me through what you think so far.
Okay.
Who do you like? Who do you not like?
I'm gonna go ahead and blow the horn for this. Spoilers for season 1 of The Wire. I don't want to dance around some of this stuff.
Okay.
Hey nerds, there's gonna be spoilers.
I'm not sure whether this was the intention or not of the season, right? Because obviously you have these group of law enforcement and you have these group of street level drug dealers, right? I think they were trying to show parallels in the structure and the backstabbing and quote unquote the game in the police force and in the street, right? Because you start looking the police force is just as dirty and political, and corrupt and self-serving as the drug pushers, right? I just thought that was just super interesting, right? It wasn't I don't watch a lot of crime stuff because I think a lot of it is just yay, the police are the good guys fighting the bad guys, right? And that is definitely not what this show is about. It is, about, a bunch of, career police officers worrying about their career, trying to get ahead, especially when you get up.
And also trying to do the job.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Trying to do the job, whatever their definition of the job is, right? The homicides, they just want to get cases closed, right? They don't care. Hey, do we press charges? Yes, that's a win in our column. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the charges stick. We cleared the case. Right.
You start to learn about stats and how even modern police departments sort of still play this game, right? It gives you. So what you're describing, right, is one of the core tenets of the show. Every season has a theme, and the first season is all about the police. Yeah. The second season is going to be about dock workers.
Okay.
The third season is going to be about politics and city hall. Season 4 is going to be about the schools, and season 5 is going to be about the media. Okay. I'm not spoiling anything for you talking about that, but that's the main sort of theme of each season. And yes, season 1 is all about the police and, how they could do good work, right? But it takes a special kind of asshole to do the good work.
Yeah. And the compromises they had to make on the case to get it
Yep.
Yep. And how things fall apart on them and
yeah, just one bad break and or one good break, right?
yeah. And just
and like the way that the show starts with them getting that witness to recant her testimony and like
oh yeah, yep. Yeah, and then the fallout from that is they're cleaning up their messes, and
yep.
The cast is just so good.
Who do you like?
Man, my heart goes out to Bubbles.
So funny thing, right? So you're talking about Bubbles, and Bubbles is in every season, by the way.
Okay, all right.
He is, I don't want to say. So Bubbles is played by this actor named Andre Royo, and if you go watch old interviews of him, people would come up to him on the street and offer him money because he plays a heroin addict.
He does, yes, and a confidential informer,
a confidential informant because the gang beats up his friend really, really bad.
Yep,
and he decides to go confidential informant to try to get back at them, and that's what sort of like kicks off a lot of the action in season 1 is what he's doing to help them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shows up in episode 2, and he's going to be in every season in some flavor. And his character arc is going to have a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Yeah, so just buckle up for that. But he is one of my favorite characters on the show for sure. Yeah. But you're gonna like his story as you progress. But all right, who else you like?
I mean, also like the people that play. Well, Idris Elba playing Stringer.
I know.
Like, just an absolute
I'm so
badass.
gay for Idris Elba. Yep.
Same.
Yeah, so gay for that man.
Same. And like he's not in the show a lot, but he doesn't necessarily need to be. But like he's like
describe his position. Describe his position in the organization.
So he seems to be kind of like he's like number 2 in the drug organization.
Yeah, he's like the right-hand man to Avon Barksdale, who's like the current king of the streets.
Yeah. And like Avon seems to like deal with like the money and getting the drugs into the city, where Stringer deals with the distribution and deals with the drug dealers.
Personnel.
And, exactly. He deals with people. Yeah. That's good. He's HR for the drug company. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but describe what happens at the end of season 1.
So the end of season 1, right? A lot of people go to jail.
Right.
But
who goes to jail?
So, dude, everybody goes to jail. It seems to be most of the big players. Not everybody, right? There's still some like street level people who seem to get permission.
Well, there's one. There's a couple key people that do not go to jail. There's 2 key people that don't go to jail. Who?
Stringer is the first one.
Right.
He doesn't. He kind of takes over.
Right.
Which I'm not entirely sure it wasn't his plan all along.
Okay.
And who's the other the other guy who comes up and takes over the pit? Brody. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So those 2 characters are also going to be important as the series progresses. But you're right. So now you're getting ready to go in season 2, and the first couple episodes of season 2 are sort of dealing with the fallout of all of like the case and what they were able to bring and what they weren't able to bring.
Because the teams basically like, they're all either getting rewarded for a good job well done, or getting punished for a job well done.
Yeah. Where don't you want to go?
Right?
Yeah. McNulty.
Yeah.
Okay.
McNutty.
Who else? McNutty. Yeah.
McNutty. And the actress who plays Kima, she was fantastic. So
Kima Griggs. Yeah. Like I said, like when I got to the episode of The Cost. That was the episode where I was like, man, this show's so fucking good. Because she takes a bullet and that kicks off a whole bunch of stuff.
And like how
it also affects Bubbles. Like that's the brilliance of this show is watching how independent events with certain groups of characters have like these far-reaching implications throughout the entire series.
Yeah. And then like how like like this this team that got put together was really put together with like the dregs of the force, and there are just a couple of people that really step up, and I'm not gonna remember their names at all, but
Yeah, Hurricane Carver, which start off as a group of knuckleheads, but start to learn how actual investigate. Like they start as street level enforcers, and they start to learn how investigations work. And then Prez Beluski's a fuck up. Yeah, poor Prez. Yeah.
He learns that he's got a knack for patterns and like putting working the paper.
Yep. And then Freeman. Just this guy that's like super chill and out of nowhere is like,
at first he's checked out just making doll furniture. And then at the beginning, and then he does a couple of little things as he overhears, and then he gets really into the case. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Okay. So when are you going to start season 2?
Probably tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would I want to keep checking in on you and your journey with this show, because it is by far my favorite show that's ever been on, and it's only going to get better. Obviously, like people like Omar in the mix, and like a gay, basically Robin Hood, right? Just like
kinda, yeah. He rubs drug dealers so he can take their drugs and sell them and make money. Yeah,
right. Yep.
Yeah. And how they even ended the first season with him back on his shit, like just part of the game.
Yep. All in the game. Yeah, and look, I love this show. I am aware of some of the problems and what people don't like about the show. I will every time I rewatch the show, people always ask me like, what's the best season? What's the worst season? And I have a hard time picking the best season. I usually vacillate between season 3 and season 4. Like, I think that those two are the best seasons. Season 5 is still good. I just don't think it's as strong as the other seasons. Season 2, like when you first start watching it, you might be like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it took me about 3 episodes. I thought it was like, man, okay, they're going to ruin this show now. But then it just like after the first couple episodes of season 2, man, like it's like right back into it. And you're going to meet some really interesting characters, and you're going to see how like they fuck up their lives and just, how the world keeps turning. And it's just an absolutely brilliant show. I mean, David Simon did such a great job writing this from his time in Baltimore. And, it's also a product of its time, right? Like they start off with pagers, even though cell phones existed. It's like right after 9/11. I believe the first season takes place in 2002. It was filmed in like 2003, 2004, but it actually takes place in like 2002. So it's like shortly after 9/11. And, you're watching how like organizations like the FBI are adapting to now terrorism versus crime.
They don't care about drugs anymore. They want terrorists. Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah.
Oh man, I'm so happy that you're into it. I can't wait to hear you really dive into this some more. Any other thoughts about it? Or
there is a blatant disregard for DUI and seatbelt laws. I mean, come on.
Well, why who?
By everybody.
Yeah.
Mostly the cops, though. I mean, the cops do put on their seatbelts while they're working, but the number of times you see a clearly very drunk officer get into a car and drive.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just that's not the last time you're going to see that.
Yeah.
Boy. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that's like, I mean, I really like Bunk. Bunk is one of my favorite.
Bunk is good. Cedric, played by Lance Riddick, he's also really good. I mean, there's
very good.
There was no
Rhonda
bad
Perlman,
cast.
the lawyer.
Yeah, there's no bad casting on that. At least in the first season, everybody was good. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we will check in on you and your journey with The Wire as the world continues to turn here. So, not a bad show for us coming back after a lot of other stuff. So why don't we cut our losses and end here?
Yeah. Hey, you can find all the links about all the stuff we talked about on doingtheirbest.com, including social links, show notes, and everything. And hey, thanks for listening.